Particular type of
All
high-energy
right, this is
molecule found
video
all over
4.
interstellar
I
space
can
are
write and graph
polycyclic aromatic
inequalities. So last
hydrocarbons.
video we talked
These
about what an
guys are the
inequality
result
was,
of combustion.
looking at
And
a
in
solution set. So today
2004,
we're
the
going to be
University of
graphing
Toledo, Ohio
those.
found
So
evidence
let's just
that
quick
those
do a
very
review
molecules may
from
exist
last
in old nebula,
video.
the result of
Let's look at this.
convection currents
Jessica spent
cooling
more
carbon
than
and hydrogen,
$5 at the
allowing them to
arcade.
bond
So more
into
than
giant
5 means
shapes.
that it's got to be
Polycyclic
anything
aromatic
more
hydrocarbons
than
are also
5.
formed when
Okay.
cooking meat at high temperatures.
Less than 12
So in order to
people
train astronauts
rang the
even more
bell
realistically here
the
on
mallet
Earth,
game.
NASA
Less than
actually
12. So
reached
that
out
means
to
it does not
Stephen
include
Pierce
12,
of
it's
Omega
less than 12.
Ingredients to replicate the
Anything
smell
this
of
way.
things that have been to space as a perfume. If we know the chemical makeup of something, even
There
something
were
light
less
years
than
away
10
from us,
people
we can
in
assemble
line
those
for the
ingredients
Ferris
here
wheel.
on Earth
Less than
and get an
10 means it
idea
does not
of
include
what
10.
it would smell like.
So for
Recently, researchers have discovered ethyl
less than 10. So all of
formate
these
in the
numbers
dust
would
cloud
fit
Sagittarius
that solution.
B2.
Let's just do one
Now,
more.
again, if
It
you were
costs
to
more
go there
than
and
$6
lift up your
more than
spacesuit's
6
visor
tokens to
and take
ride
a
the bumper
whiff,
cars. More than 6.
you would die. You
So
wouldn't be able to take a whiff.
more
All of
than
the air in your
6.
nose and
All right.
lungs and throat
That's
would
just a
be
quick review
immediately
from
expelled.
last video.
But if you were able to take a bucket
so let's
of
move on
Sagittarius
to
B2
writing
home
again.
with you to Earth and then
You can write an
give it a
inequality
smell,
to represent a
because of
situation.
the ethyl
Write an
formate,
inequality for
Sagittarius
each of the sentences.
B2's
So you have
stuff
this on your notes,
would
and we're
smell
going
like
to go through
raspberries
So example 1.
and
You
rum.
must be over 12
Pretty neat,
years
right?
old to
But let's
ride
get
the
closer to
go-karts.
home.
So
What
in
does
words,
the
what exactly
inside
does
of
that
your
mean? It
nose
means your age needs
smell
to be
like?
over 12. You need to write that.
Well,
You can
it's
just say
kind of hard
age
to
needs
know
be over 12.
because we are smelling it all the time. And
So
our
for a
bodies become
variable, what are we
desensitized
talking
to
about? We're
constant
talking about your
stimuli to
age.
keep us from being
So
overloaded
let
and to keep us
A
prepared
equal
to
your
sense any
age.
out-of-the-ordinary smells that we might need to know about.
So
This happens to
now
us all
we
the
want to
time.
write an
When you
inequality that
first
would
step into a
represent the
restaurant, you can
situation.
smell
So
all the food, but halfway
has
through the
to be
meal,
A, which
you're no
was your
longer
age,
aware of
has
the
to be
smell.
greater than 12.
It's called neural
Right, does that
adaptation.
make sense?
I guess
So
the
you
point
must
I'm
be
trying to
over
make
12
is that in order to
to ride
figure
the
out what the
go-kart. So
inside of a
A, your
nose
age is
smells
over
like,
12.
you'll need to smell
Let's look at the next
a
one.
novel
You must be at
one.
least
Like, for instance,
16
smell the
years old
inside
to
of
have
your
a
friend's
driver's
nose.
license.
It
So
might
in
seem
word
weird at first,
form,
but it could be a great
that
way to
would mean
form
your
new
age needs to be at
memories.
least 16.
Our sense of smell may not be as acute as our other senses,
Again, the
but
variable,
it seems
we're
to be
still talking
tied to
about age.
memories very,
Let's just
very
let A
closely.
equal
A
your
single
age.
whiff of an
You
odor
can
can
choose any
instantly
variable.
remind
I'm
you
just
of where
choosing A
you
because
used to
it's
smell that
considered
smell
age.
and maybe even who you were with. This
And then,
may
so
be
A
because
has
of
to
the
be greater
olfactory's
than
connection
or
to the
equal
limbic
16.
system
That
in
at
the brain.
least means that
Olfactory
you can be
information is sent
16.
through the
Okay, so
limbic
be careful
system,
with that.
which is known to
If
be
it says
involved
at
with
least a number, then
emotions
that means
and
you
memories.
should have the,
No other
or
traditional
equal.
sense is connected to the limbic
Okay?
system in this
All right,
way.
so pause the video if
We've
you need
also
to finish
found
writing these
that
down.
patients who have memory loss caused by
So
brain
now what
damage
you do too.
tend
Okay, you
to
have example
also
3 and
have
4.
an
You do these on
impaired
your own.
ability to
Write them
smell.
down, the word form,
So
whatever the
treasure
variable
your
is,
sense
and
of smell
inequality.
because it not
Follow
only
the same
keeps us
example
safe
from 1 and 2.
from gross
Pause the video,
odors
come
or
back for
rotten
your answers.
food, it can also keep us safe years of their life,
All right,
whether
check
they
your
are
answers.
genetically related or not.
So you
Will
should
tend
have
to
had
be
H
less
is
physically
greater than
attracted to
48.
each
Again, you
other
could have had
later in
any
life
variable.
than they are to strangers. This is
Note
known
here, at
as the
least 18 years
Westermarck
old to vote.
effect,
So
and
your
one of the
age
main
has to be
mechanisms it
greater
works
or
via is the olfactory
equal
system. Us
18,
humans have an
greater or equal
interesting
to. So
ability
age
to
equals your
distinguish
age
the smell
equals-
of a stranger
A is
from someone
greater
that we
than or
are
equal to
genetically
18.
related to or
Okay?
grew up in very close proximity
Alright, so
with.
now let's move
This
on to
entire
graphing.
phenomenon may be a
Alright, so you have
natural
some of
way
these
for us to
on your
avoid
notes page.
inbreeding.
So inequalities
But what about
can
someone
be
who
graphed
can't
on a number line.
smell?
Okay, remember
What do we
inequalities
call
are greater
them?
than less than.
Someone who can't see is blind,
Sometimes
someone
it's
who
possible
can't
to show
hear
that
is
all the
deaf,
values that
and
make
someone
the
who can't speak is
inequality
mute.
true.
But what do you call someone who can't smell?
Okay, sometimes
Well,
it's
there's a
possible to have
word for
more
the
than one
inability to
answer.
smell,
And the number line
anosmia.
helps you
Now,
see
even
all
though
the
the
values. So
adjective
make sure you're
form
writing
is
those words
very,
down for
very
blanks.
rare, it exists. A person who can't smell
When
is
inequalities are graphed,
anosmic.
this is my important part here. An
There's another
open
word we should have
dot
investigated a long time
means that
ago.
the number is
Olfactory.
not included
What does
in
it
the solution
come
set.
from?
So
Well, the
open dot
ol
means
part
it's
comes
not
from
included.
odor and from smell.
So whenever I
but
have a greater than or
factory?
less than, I'm going to
Well,
have an open
factories
dot.
make things, but the nose doesn't make smells, it smells
means it is included in the
right?
the solution.
Well,
set.
here's the
so
thing.
If I have the greater than or
We
equal
smell
sign, or the less
objects
than or equal
because
sign, I'm gonna have
molecules
closed
from
dot.
those objects react in certain ways with our olfactory
Go ahead and write those
receptors.
down. And we're going to do some
And
examples.
molecules
so
have
fuzzy on
specific
that, when we start
shapes
the
and
make a
vibrations and ways of behaving, but the smell is not actually intrinsic to the molecule. The smell is merely a consequence of how that molecule reacts with us.
This is an open
No
dot.
us, no smell.
So let's just make up something. Let's
olfactory
say that,
is a
X
fantastic
is
word.
5.
Every sight and feeling and sound and smell we get from our universe is actually just the universe reacting with us. Everything we know about the universe we know because it has already been processed and changed and analyzed and filtered inside the factory of our senses.
So it is an open dot.
And as always,
so my open dot
thanks for
is
watching.
on 5, which is the number, and then I'm going to go everything to that side. Should have done different colors. Sorry about that. So open dot. So that means it does not include 5. Okay, and it's greater than 5. The next one, greater than or equal to. Have a closed dot. A closed dot. So let's say X is greater than or equal to 2. So let's do this.
Hey Vsauce, Michael here, and the Pet Collective offers 24-hour coverage of puppies and kittens.
So it says greater
really
than or
cute.
equal to.
But what is
So that means
cute,
it includes 2,
scientifically?
so I'm going to have a closed
I mean,
dot,
why do we like soft, cuddly things,
everything
and
else
why do
greater
cute
than.
things have a unique effect on us? Well, the word cute is a
Less
shortening
than
of
has my open
acute,
dot.
which originally
So
meant
say
keen,
X
shrewd,
is
perceptive.
less than
About 180 years
4.
ago, the word cute began to be used
X is
as
less than
slang
4.
for a girl who is pretty. And after that, it accrued a new meaning and was used to describe cuddly,
so it's an
delicate,
open dot, so that means it
quaint,
does not include
precious,
4.
youthful traits. Conrad Lorenz studied cuteness in living things and put together a great specific list of what we consider
less than or
cute.
equal to
Small
would have a closed
body
dot.
size with a disproportionately large
is,
head,
less
large
than or
eyes,
equal to
and
1.
round and soft body features.
My number line,
But why exactly do
less
these
than or equal to
characteristics
1.
elicit an
Say
"oh"
2, 1,
response from us
0.
humans? Well, Lorenz pointed out that you can find all of those characteristics in the human
so less than
baby,
or equal, that
which
means
makes
it includes
sense.
1.
If
so it's gonna
merely
be a closed
looking
dot,
at our offspring
and
makes us
anything less
instinctively
than that.
feel protective
Okay?
and nurturing, well,
All right, I
that's
just went
great
over
for
that
all
kind of
of
fast,
us.
so if you need to
A
pause the
fun
video and make sure
consequence
you
of this is that
write these
our
down. Hopefully
experience
yours will
of
be
cuteness
neater
can be
than
triggered
mine.
by things
Okay?
that aren't
All right, pause the
human
video if you need
babies.
to.
For instance, shells. Take a look at this
All right, so
interactive
let's
tool
do
from
some
the
examples on the
Exploratorium.
number
A
line. So you
hammer
already have
is
them
boring. But
on
if
the
we
number
apply
line here.
Lorenz's
So my
traits
example
and
is
make it
N
really
is greater than
round
4.
and really
So
squat,
greater than
it goes
4.
from a
So I'm gonna start at
utilitarian
4
tool
because
to a
it's just
cute
greater
little
than. I'm
tiny
gonna put an
hammer.
open
Oh, he's just a
circle,
little hammer, don't hurt him.
and then it's greater
It is
than
a
4.
hammer that has become cute because we gave it qualities
So
that
what
we
that
see
means
in our own
is that all
offspring.
numbers
As
greater
Daniel
than
Dennett
4 are
puts it,
solutions
if
to
human
this
babies
set,
looked like
okay?
this
All numbers.
instead of
So
that,
that means
we would
all
find
of the
this
decimals in
cute.
between 4 and 5.
And whenever
so
we saw something
4.1,
that looked like it,
4.2,
we
all
would
of the
want to
numbers.
cuddle and snuggle with it.
Okay.
All right, so
Make
we have
sure
a
you
pretty
write
good
this.
idea about the how and what of cute.
All right, next one.
But where is
N
cute?
is less than
Well, researchers
or
have shown
equal
cute
to
baby
negative
pictures
2.5.
to subjects
So
while
I'm gonna go to
using
negative
functional
2.5,
MRI
which
to
would
track
be right
activity in
here,
the brain. And sure
right
enough,
there.
the
And it
cuter
says
the
less
baby
than or
in the
equal to, so
picture,
it's gonna be
the
a
more activation
closed
found
circle
right here,
and
the
anything
nucleus accumbens,
to the
a pleasure
left
center.
there. Anything
When
smaller.
activated, the nucleus
Okay.
accumbens releases dopamine. It's all part of
So
our
that means
internal
all
reward
numbers
system.
less than or equal
It's the
to
same part of the brain
2.5,
targeted by cocaine
negative, that should be a
and
negative,
meth.
2.5 are
Cuteness
solutions.
is such a powerful force on
Okay?
the brain, in fact, that it can affect
All
our
right.
behaviors, what we like,
All
what
right,
we
you've got
buy.
two examples
And
to
so
do.
it's no
Do
coincidence that
7
the
and 8.
creators of
So N
cartoon
is
characters
less
like
than
Mickey
5,
Mouse or
and N
Pikachu
is
have
greater
drawn
than
them
or equal to
more
negative
and more
3.5.
cute
Go ahead and
over
pause
time.
the video
The Japanese
and do
concept
these
of
two
kawaii
problems.
is a great example of this, and it's one that's fun to quant 7.5.
All right, check those answers.
But illustrations of people that
Make
are
sure
meant to
you
make
see
them
your
look
open
heroic or
and
noble
closed circles. I need
tend
to
to
make
make
sure
the
and
person
see those
around
very
8 to
clearly.
8.5
So make sure that I can
heads
see it
high.
clearly, because that would
Cute
obviously
goes
be
the other
part
way.
of the problem.
Manga characters
Okay?
tend to only be about
All right,
5.5
guys.
to 6.5
This was a
heads
short
tall.
lesson today. Are you proud of me? I almost did
Back
under
to
10 minutes.
babies.
So
There
you've
are
got
many
a
other
video
psychological
exit
factors
slip.
at work
You've got
that
5
cause us
problems
to
I want
want
them
to
graphed.
instinctively
Make
take
sure
care
that
of our young.
your
And to be
circles,
sure,
open
some
or
of them
closed,
are
very
decidedly
clear so that
not
we can
cute.
understand them.
For
All right?
instance,
Have a great
poopy
day, guys.
diapers. Research